Right, welcome back to another video on the BucketHatSam YouTube channel where today we will be ranking brutally in a tier list every single Premier League club's top goal scorer for this season. I've got all their goals listed down. We've got unreal, good, okay, poor and geared out. And that is how we're going to be doing it. We're going to be flying through each one. So let's go straight into it. And before you have done, if you haven't already, please do smash the like button and please do subscribe. I'm trying to get to 15,000 subscribers before the end of the year. It's a bit ambitious. We probably should aim for 10k first, but you know how it is. First, we start off with Jared Bowen. 9 Premier League goals this season. Now, for me, I spoke about Jared Bowen recently on a podcast, my podcast, BucketHatSam Talks Ball podcast. Go stream it. The link to it's down below. I feel like he's such an underrated player, especially again this season. 9 goals again in a struggling West Ham side that have been so poor. Why he hasn't got move or whether he's linked elsewhere, I could see him at somebody like Newcastle. I feel like he'd be perfect to kind of apply a bit of pressure to Murphy, a bit of competition because they need another right winger because they've obviously got Harvey Barnes and Gordon on the other side. But I look at him and just think he's a complete player. We're talking 10 plus goals now for probably the past 3 or 4 seasons and multiple assists. And he is the man that carries West Ham and has carried West Ham this season. There's so many occasions where he's stepped up. So I'm going to whack him in good. And I don't think he's that far off the level of unreal. I really like him as a forward, winger, wherever you want him. He's absolutely incredible. Always delivers. I think he's such an underrated footballer. Next, got Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes for Manchester United this season has got 8 Premier League goals. He's on absolute fire again. Another player that we talk about, like we've just said with Jared Bowen, this guy has single-handedly carried Man United to the semi-final of the Europa League. Not only has he done that, he's carried them throughout this season. Again, there'd been so much more trouble without him. Both of these players here are reliant on this, on their, they are complete that their clubs are reliant on them. I absolutely love him. I think he's been incredible this year. I think the difference is with him this year. In previous years, obviously, he's put up bigger numbers and more numbers. But there's been so many occasions in this season where we've seen him step up and can deliver on his own, where he's kind of just pushed everyone aside, taking the ball from the sixes, taking the ball from the defenders, and kind of just taking the game by the scruff of its neck on his own. I absolutely love the bloke. And this season, I've kind of changed my opinion of him because I now understand that he is a leader. Because before I was a little bit confused. Is he a leader? Did he like to moan? Did he complain too much? Whereas this season now, I get it. I understand now what he brings to Manchester United. He's absolutely incredible. So we're whacking him straight into unreal. And 8 goals is a very good return for a struggling Manchester United side. Next, we've got Matheus Cunha with 15 Premier League goals. It looks like he's off to Manchester United. We're going to whack him in the top of good. An incredible player yet again. Another player that's kind of single-handedly carried at times, but obviously Wolves have shown really good form since he went out. I think they won 4 games on the bounce. I think it's now 7 games or 6 games now on the bounce for them this season. He's been absolutely incredible. And the first half of the season, under Gary O'Neill, he was kind of the main man that stepped up when his club needed him, and I really like him as a footballer. There aren't many players in this list that can create chances on their own without anybody else about, and he is one of them, 100%. All three of these are, to be honest, but I really like Matheus Cunha. I feel like there's one thing that I do struggle with, and I think really needs to sort out in his game, and that's his composure, the way he loses his head, and kind of some of the decisions he's made for Wolves this season. He's kind of let the club down a little bit occasionally. So that's something that we've got to talk about and something we've got to probably look at and say that's not right. But still, he's been playing very well. So I'm going to whack him in the top of good. Next, we've got Liam Delap. Whack him in okay. Liam Delap has got 12 goals this season for Ipswich. I really like him as a goal scorer. I still feel like it's a little bit early to whack him into good yet because I think, well, a lot of these players are very good. So I think we've got to whack him in okay for now. I really like him. I think I've watched him in the Championship. I'm a West Bromwich Albion fan. So I saw him playing for Hull. I saw him playing for Stoke. And I never really got it with him. I never really saw anything where I thought, okay, this guy's incredible. But this season, he stepped up absolutely incredibly. He's been absolutely massive for them this season. 12 goals is a really good return in a struggling Ipswich side that has in the relegation, but sorry, relegated. It's incredible. I think he's been absolutely massive for them this season. So many times he stepped up on his own, and what I like again is he's like these players where he can create his own chances, but not by technical ability like the others are creative creators. Whereas he is just a brute force that creates his own chances by causing problems for defenders. So I really like him, and I'm really intrigued to see how he gets on next season with a 30 million release clause. I imagine he will probably end up leaving this summer. I'm intrigued though to see where he ends up. Next, we've got Erling Haaland. Whack him in the top of unreal. The guy's got 22 Premier League goals this season, which is just an incredible return. I say that I've got a list of everyone's goals this season down here, and I'm scanning. It's 21 goals. Sorry, 21 goals in 28 games. Absolutely incredible. And it's mad to think now we kind of looked at him this season having a poor season. Do you know what I mean? That's crazy to think that because we've become so numb to his numbers. We've got so used to those crazy numbers that he's put up now for so long. So I look at him and think, yeah, great signing. I think we've just got to look at him as a whole. Great signing, sorry, great striker. And he's probably the best striker in the league. I still stand by that. Isak, I know we'll get onto it a bit where a lot of people have discussed, is he better? Not for me. He's not on Erling Haaland's level. As an actual striker, there's nobody like him. The fact that he's put up those amount of goals and he's missed so many games is absolutely mental. Like, it's astronomical numbers, isn't it? Next, we've got Kai Havertz for Arsenal. He's got 9 Premier League goals this season. And I whack him in the top of okay. I like him as a striker. I like what he can do because he's somebody a little bit different. He offers something different that not many of these strikers and goal scorers can really offer you. What I look at with him is when you look at some players and you think, what do they bring? I understand what Kai Havertz brings, whereas some of the others, you look at it and you go, they bring absolutely everything. Kai Havertz is a player who isn't a striker, but playing in a striker's position. He holds up the ball well. He causes problems for defenders. I think he's a very underrated player, but we're going to whack him in okay, just because I do feel for him, and I feel like that's because of the system. And I'm really intrigued to see when Arsenal most likely will buy a striker in the summer. Will he stay as the striker? Will he move into a new position? Will we see him in the 10? Will we see him in the left-sided 8 role? Where will he be? Where will he end up? But I feel like he's in the top of okay as a goal scorer. I think, yeah, again, good return this season, and it's a shame he's got injured and things, and he was massive for Arsenal in the earlier part of the season. But overall, I'm going to whack him in okay. Next, we've got Alexander Isak. I'm going to whack him in the top 3. He's an absolute joke. Alexander Isak, the amount of goals he's put up for Newcastle this season, he's been absolutely incredible. 22 Premier League goals. He's now just gone above Erling Haaland. And it's not just that, it's the amount of assists he gets as well. He's absolutely massive as to why Newcastle have had such a good season, and the change in form has been huge. And the fact that they're in the top 4 is mental, considering at one point they weren't anywhere near it. And then the form they've shown in this second half of the season, he's been massive to that. Yes, I know he's dipped slightly recently and he's kind of dropped a few stinkers, but still overall, he's an absolutely incredible footballer. And I'm going to whack him in. He's probably definitely in the top 5 of the best scorers this season. So we'll whack him into unreal. Next, got Raul Jimenez. We're going to whack him into the top of okay. I really like him, and I really like the story. The fact that he's come back at Fulham after the horrible injury he had at the Wolves, and he's progressed. He kind of dipped again, and then we saw Muniz kind of have a really good end to last season. But then Jimenez has come back through. I really like him as a striker, and I really like his story. He's had a very good season. Probably put him in the top of okay. He's not incredible. Like, he's not a bad footballer either, but I just think, yeah, okay is probably the right level. I think he's a solid Premier League striker, and the fact that he's got into double figures, I think, is an incredible season really for him. Next, got João Pedro. Now, João Pedro is a really weird one for me at Brighton. Now, I never know how I feel about him. He's got 10 goals. He scores a lot of penalties, and I'm really on the fence with him. I change my mind every other week when it comes to him. I look at it and think, 1 minute I think, oh my world, he's a world beater, he could be at the top. And then he just lets himself down. I feel like he's a real bit part player, kind of dips in and out of games. So I'm going to whack him into okay, because I don't think he does it consistently enough. And I think we kind of, as football fans, sorry, because we see clips on Twitter, because we see highlights and things, we can kind of get sucked in by this João Pedro thing where we all go, oh my word, technically he can be an incredible footballer, but we don't see it enough. And I think that's the problem. I think that's where I kind of can never really decide how I feel. So I think middle of the road, okay. And maybe if he showed more consistent levels every single season and kind of scored more goals from open play, then I'd probably push him higher on this list. But there you go. We've got João Pedro straight in at okay. Next, we've got Brennan Johnson. Now, Brennan Johnson went on a crazy run for Spurs, didn't he? 11 goals this season. It was absolutely mental. Now, I'm going to whack him in poor. Now, some people may think this is really harsh, but what I find with Brennan Johnson is he's again a proper purple patch player where we all got really excited when he went on that run when he was scoring non-stop after he deleted his Instagram, and he was an absolute joke. But bar those 5, 6, maybe 7 games that we saw, he's not shown the level that he's an elite Premier League footballer at all, in my opinion, in his career. And I think it's just a really difficult one. I feel like he's playing in a really struggling side, which doesn't help. And I think a lot of these players that we'll get onto in a minute, I think it doesn't help when you're in a struggling side. I think he doesn't stand out for me. And I think whereas all of these, like Liam Daft's a prime example, playing for a struggling side, Bruno Fernandes playing for a struggling side, and they stand out. I don't look at Brennan Johnson and think he's been their best player this season. I just think he's got a lot of goals, which I know that seems ridiculous, but it was all in one part. Overall, as a season, I don't think he's personally good enough. So I'm going to whack him into poor. Next, for Bournemouth, we've got Justin Kluivert. Justin Kluivert, I'm going to whack into, oh, is it good? Is he on okay? Oh, my, good. Whack him in good because he's been absolutely incredible this season. There's been so many times I speak about Bournemouth. Him and Semenyo, everything comes through them too. If something's good is happening with Bournemouth, It's always between them two. He's been absolutely incredible. 12 goals. Obviously, I know he scored a lot of penalties, but he scored a lot of great goals. And I feel like this season he's really stepped up massively. And I'm going to move him back down to okay because I'm just remembering some of the penalties and how many penalties he scored. So I'm going to whack him in the top of okay. And I'm just looking at those. So I don't think he's on their level yet. Consistently, we need to see another. We need to see him do it again next season. But he's been massive. Again, a player who really suits the Iraola system, the high pressing, the high energy, real gung ho football. I think he massively suits that system. Next, we've got Mateta. We're going straight into good. I love Mateta. I love the man. He's got 14 Premier League goals this season. Another incredible season from him. And what I love about him again is he does things on his own. Yes, when you look at Crystal Palace, he's not the most beautiful player on the eye. You think of the likes of Eze, you think of Sarr at times. But what I love about Mateta is Mateta's press, and Mateta this season, I think technically has stepped up to another level. Like you can tell he's been playing international football. I look at him and think, off the back of that Olympics, and you saw him being like a bit of a leader, you think he's kind of taken that into this season with Crystal Palace, leading the line on his own. They signed Nketiah, can't get anywhere near. Edouard gets sent out on loan to Leicester. This man, everything comes through him at Crystal Palace. I absolutely love him. I think he's been incredible again this season. It became a bit of a meme with everyone going boom, 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 boom. But I think that takes away from just how good a player he is. It's incredible the numbers he's put up now consistently for 2 seasons, and I love him because he scores all types of goals. Absolutely incredible. And the fact that he missed the penalty against Aston Villa in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, and it shows you the mentality that he didn't let it get it to him. He didn't let him dip. It didn't let him slide. He carried on delivering and then went back and again got some assists, helped provide goals. He was incredible in that game. Next, we've got Mbuemo. Straight in, I'm going to have him above Mateta, but below Jared Bowen. And Buemo has been incredible. No, do you know what? I'm going to have him above Jared Bowen. I feel like, and probably above Matthias Cunha, because I think this guy again is another one that becomes underrated because we've been so used to how good he's been, and I think he's been absolutely incredible for Brentford this season. 18 Premier League goals. 18. Think about this. I spoke about Brentford before this season started. I'm going to put my hands up and say I got it wrong. I thought Brentford were going to get relegated. I thought the missing of Tony and things was going to really hurt them, really haunt them because to parts last season they really dipped in form. But he has stepped up massively. Him and Visser have got this kind of understanding between the two of them that's absolutely incredible. But what I love about him is he's so much more than a scorer. He does absolutely everything. He's a provider. He's a creator. It's absolutely incredible to watch. He's been so good this season. I love him. 18 goals. I can't get my head around that. It's absolutely mental. Next, we've got Enjoy. Now, Enjoy, I love Enjoy, and I loved him at Sheffield United. When he was at Sheffield United, my old manager at West Bromwich Albion, actually the one before that, Carlos Corberán, it was his first match against Sheffield United at home, and this guy single-handedly had our trousers down. He absolutely bullied us. Then he went out to Marseille where he wanted to get that dream move, and he's come back to England, and he's delivered this season for Everton. But what I feel like, it's going to sound ridiculous, I'm going to whack him in poor. Now, it's going to seem really harsh. He's got 7 goals. I think the reason why I'm putting him in poor is I think there's a little thing with Njai where we get excited because there aren't many players in that Everton side that play like he does. He's exciting, so I think he stands out massively, but I think he's kind of a relegation kind of player. I don't think he can play that much at a higher level. I think he's just a player that we get a bit excited by. He does a few tricks and a few kind of turns and things like that. Yes, I know he's had some injury problems, but I look at him and think maybe he stands out. Maybe that might be me being a bit harsh, but I think he just stands out quite a bit in that Everton side. But I think he's a decent player, but he's not on the level of these guys, any of these guys. So I'm going to whack him into poor for now. Next, we've got Southampton's. We've got Onuachu. 4 goals. It feels harsh saying get out because I love him because he fits the narrative, and I always say great feat for a big man because he does. He's absolutely huge, and 4 goals is just really not a good enough return. Let's be honest. He's been at Southampton now for a few seasons. I know they loaned him out last season. I think he went out to Belgium and scored quite a few goals, but this season he's just not delivered. And no one has, to be honest, at Southampton, so I do feel for him, but I've got to whack him in get out. The 4 goals is mental, by the way. That's their top goal scorer in the Premier League. Next, we've got Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, again, another player who's had an incredible season. 14 goals. I am whacking him into unreal. Another player that has delivered throughout the season. Yes, I know he's dipped and he's had a little moment where he's dipped in form and things, but we can't allow that to take over and to look at him just for that. He's been incredible throughout the season. Yes, he's not delivered recently, but he's still been incredible, and he has done it for over a year and a half now, which is just sums up how good a player he is. So we're whacking him into unreal. And again, another one of those players that can create something out of absolutely nothing. Next, Mohamed Salah. Mohamed flipping Salah has been absolutely incredible this season. 28 Premier League goals, 28. Yes, you heard me right. Best player in this list, obviously, but he's not a striker. That's the best striker there in Erling Haaland. And then Mohamed Salah is the best player in this list out of all of these. The guy is an absolute joke. And what I love about him is we speak about him all the time that he has shifted the whole narrative of wingers because the fact that now we judge some wingers now on goals and assists, that's all because of Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah has changed the dynamic of football, changed the way we view wingers. It's incredible. We now look at Ryan Giggs and players like that and think, how many assists, how many goals do they get? That's all because of this man. The guy is an absolute joke and he's had an incredible season. I'm glad he signed a new contract because I want to see him in the Premier League. The most amount of goals by any overseas player in Premier League history. Took over Sergio Aguero on the weekend. It's an incredible mental record. The guy's an absolute joke and I love watching him play. So yeah, it's got to be an unreal because what I love watching him play is he can go missing for 70 minutes and still somehow get 2 goals. It's mental, isn't it? So good this season. Next, we've got Jamie Vardy, who has just announced that he is leaving Leicester City. 7 goals. Right now, I'm going to whack him into poor. And that sounds harsh. I'm talking about this very second. Obviously, he's a Premier League legend. He's got an incredible legacy at Leicester. 7 goals in a struggling Leicester side isn't an awful return, but I still think he's in poor. Like I don't think he's great. Let's be honest. Right now, you can see his legs have gone. I can see him at like Sheffield Wednesday or a Wrexham next season. Those are the 2 clubs I see him being linked at. I don't think he's a Premier League footballer anymore. So yeah, I think it's probably best that he drops down to the Championship. It's a shame because I absolutely loved watching him. Without that blistering pace, you can see he's lost a lot of his game. Next, we have got Aston Villas. We have got Ollie Watkins, who there's quite a lot of kind of media attention with at the minute, but he's got 15 goals this season. I'm whacking him into good, and I think this is a very a weird one, and I find this narrative with him at the minute really mental. The fact that he's got 15 goals now, I think I read recently, that's his 3rd consecutive season that he's done that for Aston Villa in the Premier League. That's incredible, and he is also Aston Villa's all-time leading goal scorer in the Premier League now. He's got an incredible record. I really like him as a player, and it's weird the treatment by Villa and by Unai Emery. I'm intrigued as to why. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes because they seem to want rid of him, and I want him to move on. I want him to excel because you need him playing for England because he's a great player and he offers something different. The way he gets in behind, the way he kind of causes defence absolute chaos and carnage. I love the man. He's absolutely incredible footballer. So we've got to whack him into good because again, the numbers that he's been putting up now consistently for years is incredible. And the final one we have got is Chris Flipping Wood. 18 goals, no, 19 goals, sorry. 19 goals for Nottingham Forest this season. Mental. Old school. Love it. Striker. Proper striker. We're whacking him into good. He's just, you know exactly what you're going to get from him. The guy is an absolute poacher. He's a merchant. And the thing is now consistently putting up 10 plus goals a season, whether he did it at Nottingham Forest, whether he's done it at Newcastle. He's done it absolutely everywhere. The bloke is an absolute joke. Burnley. He used to go through the ranks at my team, West Bromwich Albion. We never really got to see him play. I know he went on to Leicester Blues. If you look at his goal scoring record, it's incredible. It's mental. The guy's been doing it now consistently for so long, and you know exactly what you're going to get from him. He is just a natural goal scorer, and that is underrated in the Premier League. So that's why I'm putting him again so high. But there you go. I have brutally ranked every single Premier League every single Premier League team's top goal scorer. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know. Do you disagree? Do you agree? Let me know. And if you haven't already, please do smash the like button and please do subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys very soon for another video. Thank you. See you in a bit.